Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. I am delighted to welcome you to this year's Presidential Faculty and Staff Award Ceremony. I'm Freeman Hrabowski. We are here to recognize the achievements of colleagues across the campus. Please stand for the singing of the national anthem. It will be actually sung by the UMBC Camerata, directed by Stephen Caracciolo, and our own presidential teaching professor, Dr. Marie DesJardins, is a member of the Camerata, and we're delighted she will be singing with them today. She's somewhere there in the group.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, Stephen. Excellent training. Excellent. And you look good, too. Give them one more round of applause. They look good. Before we move forward, I'd like to acknowledge a very special group, the family members and close friends of our recipients who've joined them today. Would all family members and friends who've come here specifically for this award ceremony stand? Let us see who you are. And would you give them, all of them, stand up and let us see you. And will the former and current presidential teaching and research professors and the past Distinguished Staff Award winners please stand? Any of you who are the past winners, please stand. Let us see you. Faculty and staff, very nice. Following the award ceremony, I'll spend a few minutes highlighting some of the campus's recent notable developments. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our wonderful colleague with that British accent, Provost Philip Rouse.
Thank you very much, Freeman. And it's my great honor and privilege today to honor the Presidential Faculty and Staff Award winners. And so what I'm going to do today is I read the citation, I'm going to ask our award winners to stand, and then there will be time for brief remarks from each of our award winners. And we will start with the 2014-2017 Presidential Teaching Professor, who is Dr. Marie DesJardins. Dr. DesJardins, Professor, Computer Science and Electrical Engineering, joined UMBC in 2001. Named one of UMBC's 10 professors not to miss, Dr. DesJardins is known on campus and throughout her professional community for her research in artificial intelligence and her dedication to innovative teaching and student mentoring. She has been a principal investigator or co-principal investigator on over $6 million of external research funding and received a prestigious National Science Foundation Career Award. Dr. DesJardins is an inaugural Hrabowski Innovation Fellow, and with that award is helping create a new center, a new classroom that supports pedagogical approaches that increase student engagement and active problem solving. Committed to the quality and rigor of computer science courses at the high school level, Dr. DesJardins received multiple NSF awards to support her efforts in this area. So please join me in congratulating the 2014-2017 Presidential Teaching Professor, Dr. Marie DesJardins.
It's loud. Sorry, I have to do this now. First of all, I just want to say how honored I am to receive this award. I've actually aspired to receive this award since I first heard about it shortly after I came here, and it's really an honor. I owe thanks to so many people who have influenced me to become a teacher and inspired me with their own passion for teaching. My undergraduate advisor, Harry Lewis, was my first teaching mentor and also a brilliant scholar. Beverly Taylor, who was a phenomenal director of the Radcliffe Choral Society, inspired my lifelong love of music, which I'm still doing. And David Patterson, who was one of my first professors at Berkeley, was really an inspiring model of how you can be both a highly effective teacher and a top-ranked researcher, which has always been my aspiration. I'd especially like to thank the students who have inspired me, who have always been willing to tell me honestly what was working and not working in my classes and help me learn from that, and who have made being a professor the most rewarding job I can imagine. Finally, I'd especially like to acknowledge my high school geometry teacher, Dr. Lynn Collins. Lynn spent 40 years inspiring and nurturing talented young mathematicians in Howard County, Maryland. I'm not sure I would be a computer scientist or a teacher if she hadn't set such an amazing example for me. I was fortunate enough to have her teach both of my daughters before she retired and then passed away a few years ago. I've decided to supplement the funding that I'll be receiving from the Presidential Teaching Award with some of my own money in order to establish a permanent scholarship at UMBC. The Dr. Lynn Collins Memorial Scholarship will support students who are passionate about teaching computer science and mathematics. My hope is that maybe the scholarship will continue Lynn's legacy by inspiring the next generation of teachers and scientists. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Marie. And now it's my great privilege to introduce the recipient of the 2014-2017 Presidential Research Professor Award, who is Dr. Robert L. Rubinstein. Dr. Rubinstein, Professor of Sociology and Anthropology and Director of the Center for Aging Studies, came to UMBC in 1997. His work is providing insight on the lives and experiences of older Americans, and he is one of the top researchers in his field. His work particularly focuses on areas of environment and aging, childlessness in later life, and long-term care. Dr. Rubinstein has been the principal investigator on 8 National Institutes of Health and National Institutes of Aging studies. With his colleagues at the Center for Aging Studies, he has made significant contributions to research on residential housing and the care of the elderly. He was given a Merit Award, which is a prestigious award given by NIH to only a handful of investigators after the 4th year of his project, Bereavement in Long-Term Care. The author of 7 books, Dr. Rubinstein is known as a consistent, engaged, and active teacher and mentor. Please join me in honoring Dr. Robert Rubinstein as the 2014-2015 Presidential Research Professor.
I'm very grateful and honored to receive this award. And I would like to thank President Hrabowski and the selection committee, and I'm also grateful to UMBC for providing a rich and supportive environment in which to conduct research. I've always undertaken research with the involvement of many colleagues and never alone. While I cannot thank them all by name, there are a few colleagues I would like to mention. I would like to thank and acknowledge the staff of the Center for Aging Studies in the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, and in particular, Dr. Anne Christine Frankowski, a longtime collaborator. I would also like to thank and acknowledge the many graduate students I have had and have today who are in the UMBC UMB doctoral program in gerontology. They ask very good questions. I am grateful to the support our work has received from Linda Brown and Deb Geer of MyPAR, the Maryland Institute for Policy Analysis and Research. The MyPAR staff helps us prepare and administer our research grants. Their work is excellent. Without them, nothing would be possible. I would also like to thank my many colleagues and the faculty and staff in the Department of Sociology and Anthropology. I cannot list them all by name, but I have benefited from many stimulating discussions we have had. In particular, I would like to thank Drs. Leslie Morgan, Kevin Eckert, John Schumacher, Sarah Chard, and Brandy Wallace, with whom I have worked together on research. Sometimes people ask me where do good ideas for research projects come from. Very often, they come from everyday life. I would thus like to thank my children, Lily and Gabriel, who have been inspirational to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The recipient of the 2014-2015 Presidential Distinguished Staff Award for Professional Staff is Mr. Kevin Joseph. Kevin. Mr. Joseph, Assistant Director of the Business Services Group in the Division of Information Technology and a UMBC alumnus, began his tenure at UMBC as a student worker in that division. His initiatives have helped make UMBC the model of a technology campus for enterprise solutions. In his current role, he regularly interacts with staff and administrators across the campus, successfully communicating technically complex details in ways that everyone can understand. And just in a moment of personal privilege, I'd like to thank you, Kevin, for training me on RECs personally, which of course goes to prove what I just said is absolutely true. Mr. Joseph launched and currently leads the data warehouse team and the document imaging team. Known nationally for his leadership in data warehousing for higher education, his work was crucial to the successful outcomes of projects such as PeopleSoft Campus Solutions and Blackboard Analytics for Learning. Please join me in congratulating the recipient of the 2014-2015 Presidential Distinguished Staff Award for Professional Staff, Mr. Kevin Joseph.
Dr. Hrabowski, Provost Rouse, and members of the selection committee, I'm honored to be chosen as the recipient of the 2014-15 Presidential Distinguished Professional Staff Award. There are many people who have been instrumental in my success, and I would like to take this time to recognize and thank some of them. Terry Hollander and Bobby Sharpazian, who were influential in my decision to attend UMBC. Jack Seuss, who hired me in my first job at UMBC as a student worker. Joe Kirby, who has provided friendship and counsel in my many comings and goings at UMBC. Dr. Yvette Mosey-Ross, Dr. Michael Dillon, Ben Lowenthal, and John Fritz, who have been wonderful partners in making RECs a success on campus. The members of my team, Jennifer Keller, Koshka Donaldson, and Bob Andrew, who always make me look good, and the staff of the Business Systems Group inside of Do It. Most of all, I would like to thank my family, my brothers, Ken and Bernard, and my sister, Dr. Kimberly Joseph, who have always been there to encourage and challenge me, and my parents, Ruth and Peter, who instilled in all of their children the value of hard work, the importance of education, and most importantly, that life is not always fair. There will be people who do not like you just for who you are, and that you can never use that as an excuse not to continue to strive to do your best and prove them wrong. Once again, thank you very much for this very prestigious award.
The recipient of the 2014-2015 Presidential Distinguished Staff Award for Non-Exempt Staff is Miss Susan Augsburger Velli. Miss Velli, Business Services Specialist in the Department of Music, has served the University System of Maryland since 1991. She joined the Music Department at UMBC in 2000. Her colleagues see her as the hub of a fast-paced department offering traditional classroom instruction, private instruction, and over 100 public and outreach events each year. Ms. Velli is known for her versatility and ability to manage a diverse group of tasks requiring an equally diverse set of skills. She is a budget and payroll manager, event scheduler, campus liaison, web manager, and designer. And at the same time, she keeps the department compliant with university-wide requirements, implements policies, and responds to the needs of faculty, staff, and students. Her professionalism and management and organizational skills are an asset to the department, to its people, and to UMBC. Please join me in congratulating the recipient of the 2014-2015 Presidential Distinguished Staff Award for Non-Exempt Staff, Miss Susan Augsburger Velli.
Thank you, Dr. Rouse, for your introduction. Thanks to all of you for attending this ceremony and for supporting those of us who are receiving these awards today. I am deeply honored and touched to be recognized with this award. I want to convey a special thank you to Anna Rubin, Professor of the Department of Music, for her nomination, and to the multiple faculty members who provided additional input on my behalf. Thanks also to Beth Wells and the selection committee for their hard work in deciding among many qualified submissions. Those of us who are alumni often feel extremely passionate about giving back to this very special community. I am fortunate to be fulfilling that desire in the Department of Music, where I've also been a student. I am privileged to have witnessed stunning growth under the talented leadership of Dr. Linda Dussman and currently Dr. E. Michael Richards. I thank them both for their guidance and inspiration. I would like to thank Dr. Freeman Rabowski for recognizing employees with these awards. I'm proud to be a graduate of a university which has experienced so much expansion and progress under his direction. I also sincerely appreciate the many employees with whom I have worked over the years. The collaboration and professionalism I have experienced with my colleagues is truly exceptional here at UMBC. Once again, thank you for honoring me with this award.
Thank you so much, Susan. Please join me again in congratulating all of our Presidential Faculty and Staff Award winners. Congratulations. It is now my great pleasure to announce the first recipient of the Karen L. Wensch Endowment Award for Outstanding Non-Exempt Staff. President Rabowski endowed this award in honor of Karen Wensch, who began her stellar career at UMBC as Secretary in the Department of Education in 1970 and retired as Executive Administrative Assistant to the President in 2010, after 40 years of outstanding service to the university, including her advocacy for non-exempt staff. The award honors non-exempt staff who make an outstanding contribution in one or more of the following areas: dedication to UMBC, performance above and beyond position requirements, personal commitment and persistence, excellent problem-solving skills, high professional standards, community involvement both on and off campus, and advocacy for non-exempt staff. And we're pleased to have Karen with us here today. Karen, would you stand and be acknowledged? And I'm pleased to announce that the recipient of the first Karen L. Wensch Award is Jane Gethman. Jane currently serves as assistant to the chair of the Computer Science and Electrical Engineering Department. Ms. Gethman first came to UMBC in 1971 and joined the Computer Science and Electrical Engineering Department in 1997. She is known as the glue that holds the department together, going above and beyond her responsibilities. She is also a leader and a trusted advisor. In addition to assisting the chair and handling administrative and financial duties, Ms. Gethman also takes the lead when additional resources are required or where she sees the need to increase efficiency. She has served as facilities manager and scheduling coordinator, managed the Computer Science Help Center, and most recently oversaw the installation of a new teaching laboratory. Ms. Gethman's vast knowledge of UMBC and departmental procedures, as well as her excellent judgment, make her invaluable to those she serves. She is a dedicated people person with an incredibly helpful and positive attitude. So please join me in congratulating the first recipient of the 2014-2015 Karen L. Wensch Endowment Award for Outstanding Non-Exempt Staff, Ms. Jane Gethman.
Dr. Rubowski. Yes. Provost Strauss. It is such an honor to be the first recipient of the Karen Wensch Endowment Award. I don't know what else to say beyond that. I'd like to thank Dr. Gary Carter for writing me what I understand was a glowing letter of nomination for me. Thank you to the search committee for selecting me to receive this award, and a very special thank you to Karen for establishing this award to honor the non-exempt staff who are the dedicated people that keep the campus running day to day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jane. It's now my pleasure to recognize the recipient of the 2013-2014 Jcubic Family Endowment Staff Award, who is Miss Justine Marie Johnson. Justine. The Jcubic Family Endowment Staff Award honors an exceptional staff member who has contributed to student academic success. Staff members are selected based on their innovative advisement, excellence in teaching, creative application of technology, mentorship of undergraduates, and the development of new programs. This year's recipient, Ms. Johnson, Associate Director of the Meyerhoff Graduate Fellows Program, came to UMBC in 1999. She has helped establish UMBC as a national model for doctoral STEM diversity. Under her leadership and mentoring, the Meyerhoff Graduate Fellows Program has undergone tremendous growth and expansion. In 2004, the program supported a total of 31 PhD students, and the retention rate was 74%. It now includes 77 participants with a retention rate of over 92% over the past 5 years, and 80% overall, far exceeding the national rate of 40%. She devised and managed the Summer Bridge program for incoming graduate fellows, and also directs the Summer Biomedical Training Program for undergraduates. Ms. Johnson also took the lead on writing the last 2 successfully funded competitive renewals, with the most recent submission receiving a priority score of 13, and a score of 10 is considered perfect. And due to her work, the university will be receiving $3.3 million
Give another
from that award.
For that.
Please join me in congratulating the recipient of the 2013-2014 Jcubic Family Endowment Staff Award, Ms. Justine Johnson.
First and foremost, I would like to thank Mrs. Ernestine Baker, Dr. Todd Woolston, and the late Lamont Tolliver, who hired me to work at this amazing institution back in 1999 when I had no idea where UMBC was even located in Baltimore. Secondly, I would like to thank my wonderful boss, colleague, mentor, and friend, Dr. Michael Summers, for nominating me for this award. Mike, you continue to challenge me professionally in grant writing and my work with the students, and personally on the ski slopes and hiking trails during our retreats. I've learned so much from you, and for that I am truly grateful for all the exposure. I am equally thankful to the graduate students who have had faith in me as an administrator to serve you as you pursue your doctoral degrees. It is such a privilege and an honor to work with such talented students who make coming to UMBC each day a pleasure. Last but certainly not least, I'd like to thank my family who offer me their loving support each day. I thank God for His wisdom and strength, and I also thank my UMBC colleagues all over this campus that help me do my job every single day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justine. Each year, the Board of Regents honours a select group of faculty and staff for their outstanding achievements. This year, Dr. Jeff Leips, Associate Professor of Biological Sciences, is the recipient of the 2014 University of System of Maryland Board of Regents Faculty Award for Excellence in Teaching. Jeff. Dr. Leips joined the UMBC faculty in 2001 and is making groundbreaking contributions to interdisciplinary undergraduate education in the life sciences at UMBC. He has implemented major changes in undergraduate biological sciences education, focused on improving students' quantitative reasoning skills, especially applied to biological problems. He is co-director of an NSF-funded project to establish interdisciplinary training for undergraduates in biological and mathematical sciences. He also worked with mathematics and statistics faculty to incorporate more biological applications into existing mathematics courses and to establish new minors in biomathematics and quantitative biology. Please join me in recognizing Dr. Jeff Leips, recipient of the 2014 USM Board of Regents Faculty Award for Excellence in Teaching.
Very good.
So thank you very much for the committee who helped me apply for this award, and for also all the support that I'm getting from the university, including the administrators and my own department, for education and education-related research. I have a few groups of students or people to thank. When Marie was talking about high school teachers, I was thinking back, were there any high school teachers that were any good in my high school? And actually, there were a few. But the one that stands out for sort of preparing me for what I do on a day-to-day basis, I think, was my drama coach, which every day it seems like I'm doing performance art as much as I am teaching in that class. But other groups of faculty who have really helped me, the people that I co-teach with, so Dr. Tammy Mendelson and Dr. Ullman, have put up with a lot of my implementation of new innovative things in the class that don't always go very well, so thank you for your patience. And I also have to thank the people who supported me in this particular award, so my own chair, Dr. Faribaugh, Dr. LaCourse, who's been supportive in many different ways toward this award, and also my co-conspirator, Dr. Nagaraj Nirchal, in math and statistics. And then finally, I'd like to thank the current and present students who've actually led me to do a lot of the things that I'm doing. They've challenged me in the classroom, including falling asleep, which means that I need to do something to wake them up. and really sort of making constructive criticisms all throughout, just as Marie said. That really helps us sort of mold what we do in the classroom and improves the educational experience, including suggesting me getting new shoes occasionally. So with that, I'd just like to thank everybody who supported me for this award and for the university itself for all the support for education research. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. I also want to recognize the UMBC faculty whose extraordinary work was honored with a nomination by the campus for a University System of Maryland Board of Regents Faculty Award for 2014. Dr. Raji Bharadwaj, please stand if you're here today, and please join me in giving her a round of applause. Raji. I also want to recognise the UMBC staff members whose extraordinary work has been honoured with a nomination by our campus for the USM Board of Regents Staff Award for 2013-14. The Board of Regents will conduct the selection process for these awards later this year, but will you please join me in recognising Miss Julie Rosenthal and Dr. David Hoffman, who have both been nominated for these awards. David. And now that's the end of the awards part of the ceremony, and I must admit, as I introduce our next speaker, I'm tempted to say, to talk a little bit about his wonderful Birmingham accent. However, I won't do that because it might get me into trouble. But it's my great honour and privilege to introduce Dr. Hrabowski, who will present the university update.
Philip, I assure you, you have not heard my Birmingham accent. We come to Baltimore and we become a bit more proper somehow. I am delighted again to congratulate all the people receiving awards today. Let's give them one more round of applause, please. I kept thinking about the humility of each person who did not focus on him or herself, but on the fact that he or she has done so well or is getting this recognition because of the support from other people. I think it speaks volumes about the values on our campus, that we don't do it alone, that anytime somebody succeeds, it means a lot of people have worked together, whether it's a high school geometry teacher or a drama teacher, or it's particularly that we all support, I know we are supported by our family members. Can't do what we do if we didn't have that cabinet of people who really work with us. Jane said something that was amazing when she was standing back there and we were talking about Karen for a minute, and it was a wonderful introduction of Jane, and she said, "They're making me sound like a superwoman. I was just doing my job." And it's that humility that makes us all love her so much. And so I want to spend the next 10 minutes talking about some of the achievements of a few people. There are thousands of faculty and staff on this campus, many of whom are getting awards all the time. And so when I give a few, it is just that a sense of what's going on, to give you the idea that we are doing so well. And so let me begin by saying that for the first time in our history, we received over 10,000 applications already for this year. To put that in perspective, that's a 50% increase in the past 5 years. And the deal is this is what's interesting. Other places have more applications, but a lot of students won't even apply to UMBC because they already know they don't have the credentials to get in. And so the people who apply tend to be fairly well prepared already. And we've had that 50% increase, which speaks volumes about the work of everybody on this campus in talking about the achievements of the university, in welcoming people here, from the admissions office to all the support, and quite frankly, to each of you, because when you speak, you are UMBC. And so we're very proud of that, and we'll see the results this coming fall as we continue to keep a fairly constant size in the freshman class, going up just slightly. We're not trying to grow. And what you need to know is that it's unfortunate, but a number of our colleagues in the University System of Maryland have had enrollment declines. One campus, it was just in the paper, had to lay off 70 people because of the decline in enrollment. And we feel for them, and we're hoping they can find the people they need for their institution. But our enrollment is extraordinarily healthy. Our biggest challenge is not growing too fast. You see what I'm saying? To make sure that when we bring students in, we can give them the support, that we have enough faculty and enough staff so that people don't become so stretched that we can't get the jobs done. And we're always with that tension, but we're growing very carefully as we think that through. One of the reasons so many students want to be here is they do so well. We have a number of Fulbright awardees this year. Just one example, Mitch Donovan, who graduated from UMBC in 2012, is now working on his master's in geography and environmental systems here, just received a Fulbright research grant to study in Finland. And we can go, there are others who are already right now in Indonesia, and just to list the countries, and we're all kinds of opportunities. Coco Tang, who's waiting to hear right now, spent last semester, two semesters ago in Jordan, and plans and hopes to go back there with that kind of fellowship. We had 2 awardees of the Goldwater Scholarship. Big deal. I mean, usually at most, and Simon would tell you that, Director of Honors, I think he mentioned to the Just for Juniors, when you've got 2 or 3, you're with the Ivies. I mean, it means that you're doing extraordinarily well in terms of how many people get those awards. I was especially pleased to see that Alexis DeVance, who's in dance, has been invited to perform at the American College Dance Festival held at the Kennedy Center, and she will be there in June. And it's a part of her senior project. Her mentor is Doug Hamby. It speaks again to the quality of our work in the arts. And then amazingly, Seiko Narita is a grad student in emergency health services who graduated in 2004 and has come back in interdisciplinary studies, came back in the master's program, but was asked to help organize the disaster response in the Philippines after the typhoon that was recently there. And again, it's about the expertise of people, not just faculty, but those in grad school. We just named a second cohort of postdoctoral fellows for diversity, and delighted that one of the previous fellows just began as a tenure-track faculty member in gender and women's studies, Viviana McManus. And so that's a program that is working. And we launched the Global Studies program directed by Devin Haggerty from Political Science and Bridget Starkey. What's amazing is that program has an interdisciplinary focus and really will be preparing people for global work in global leadership. Jason Schiffman in psychology has been collaborating with the University of Maryland Medical Center, the School of Medicine, and they recently developed Maryland's new Center for Excellence on Early Intervention for Serious Mental Illness. Schiffman and his team of grad researchers are working to prevent psychosis in young people and also to break down the stigma that often prevents those with symptoms from getting the help that they need. Very important work. That work has already been featured in USA Today and the Baltimore Sun. I want to continue to congratulate Dr. David Hoffman. I like saying Dr. David Hoffman. You know, he already had a Harvard Law degree. Then he goes and gets a PhD. I'm very proud of him. And but David has been a masterful leader, national leader with breaking ground. What makes us particularly unique is that we continue to launch or redesign courses and projects that focus on our capacity to have an impact on our communities. And we've had a number of faculty members that are working with that project and with students. And so it's not, so when we talk about service, so often people talk about what's happening outside of the classroom. What's so significant about this is faculty and staff working together with students in the classroom, in communities to make a big difference, and it shows. Africana Studies is to be congratulated, and I am very, very proud of them. It's very interesting that Tyson, as the chair, has just launched a new program, a summer study program abroad in Ghana, designed both for K through 12 teachers and UMBC students. So I'll be his PR person today. If you're not a K through 12 teacher and you're not a student, but you're interested in going, you ought to talk to her. It should be an interesting educational trip because they will be focusing on everything from field-based academic work to intense language lessons and intercultural exchanges with government and non-government officials. And then on April 12th, the Language, Literacy, and Culture Department will be hosting a graduate student conference called Rethinking Intellectual Activism. I like bringing that up because we need to have a sense of the kinds of work grad students are doing at different levels. I am especially pleased to say that the Shriver Center is now 20 years old. It's a 20-year event. Give John Martell and Michelle Wolf a hand for that, would you? These programs that they've started, from the Choice Program all the way over to the Peace Workers Program, have made such a difference. We have touched the lives of thousands and thousands of inner city kids, thousands of young people who become leaders, and people talk about those efforts. One, I mean, the Choice Program right now is, and some of the Peace Workers are working with our partnership with Lakeland Elementary. If you don't know, we are with a major partnership with an elementary school in Baltimore City, not far from the campus. And what's significant is we've got Rehana Shafi and the Sherman Scholars. We've got Choice people there. We have people from the Peace Workers, and it's a wraparound service kind of idea. And the idea, I mean, for me, the vision is that these children will be so well prepared by the time they go to high school that they will do well enough that they can come to UMBC. Too few kids from Baltimore City have the background to come to UMBC. And so the best thing we can do is get involved ourselves at that level and make a difference. And so I'm very excited about that. I want to really give credit to Nancy, who's been working with me on efforts involving athletics. And I am delighted that Tim Hall has now been here a semester and is really building a sound athletic program to the next level. Very pleased. Would you give Tim Hall a hand, please? And just to mention one of our great success stories in athletics this year, it's really nice. The men's team actually got as high as being ranked 5th in the nation. They made it to the second round of the NCAA, lost in overtime. And then the women's team won that championship for the first time. And both Pete Karenji and Leslie Ray were coaches of the year. Would you give them both a round of applause? Big cheer. And so my remarks, in focusing on undergrad experiences, now the research experiences that are particularly significant, just some examples. We created the Center for Innovation, Creativity, and Research in the Arts, and Tim Noe, former president of the Faculty Senate, is the head of that center, and it is off and running and promotes inquiry and experimentation in and across the arts with a special emphasis on collaboration across those areas. We also launched the UMBC-UMB Research and Innovation Partnership, the SEED grant program, and what is significant is that we had the first 5 teams who've been announced, and they're already working on areas in cancer and stroke and muscle degeneration. Our researchers connected with Maryland medical researchers include Kathleen Hoffman, Bradford Piercy, Charles Bieberick, Marie Christine Daniel, and Tulai Adderley, all of whom are working collaboratively with their partners downtown. We will be announcing the recipients of the next round of the Rubinstein Innovation Fund, I'm told, within the week. I was impressed with the math department. Matthias may be here, but we had an entire place filled with people here looking at major research issues in mathematics, and I enjoyed telling them that at UMBC math rocks, but give Matthias a hand with Nagaraj and Matthias and all of them, very significant. Suzanne Ostrin Rosenberg is truly a superstar. She has just been given one of the, I think there were 3 given out, but she's gotten one of the inaugural MedImmune grants for a 3-year collaborative project with a budget of $600,000, in addition to a Maryland Innovation Initiative of another $100,000, as she focuses on therapeutic agents for cancer treatment. Very impressive. And another example, Karen Odom, who's in biological sciences, has been able to publish some thought-provoking research in Nature Communications that has been talked about around the world, involving actually challenging Darwin's assumptions about the evolution of birdsong. And working with her advisor, Kevin Omlin, she's led a team of researchers from Australia and the Netherlands, and their findings have appeared in news outlets around the world, from Germany to Australia, and it's amazing. It's amazing to see the quality of research. It's amazing to see the kind of visibility you get, and then most important, it's amazing to see, quite frankly, people seeking the truth. Govind Rao, another one of our amazing scholars, has just gotten almost an $8 million grant from DARPA recently, and he's developing technologies, listen to this, that will allow us to manufacture protein-based drugs at a patient's bedside. So when you talk about disruptive technologies and really taking it to the next level, I mean, it's the kind of thing you would never have imagined unless you go from Ryle. Then you imagine it, and it becomes reality. Linda Dustman in music and Eric Smallwood in visual arts created an iPad app called Symphony Interactive in collaboration with a team from the IRC, and the app transforms how audiences experience live musical events, and it's an excellent example of the potential of interdisciplinary collaboration. They invited me then. It was fascinating using this iPad as you're listening to music and as you can literally find out more, not only about the composer, but you can understand the music as it's playing, and you're sensing some things, and then you've got an explanation there that can help you have an even stronger experience with it. It was not just different, it was elevating. It was truly elevating to see how technology can be used creatively to give us another experience in music. And it was definitely 21st century, very much so. Because you saw the other people watching people using iPads and with different kinds of reactions, right? How could you be reading an iPad when you're supposed to be listening to the music, not knowing at first that you're interacting? It was incredible. Congratulations to Linda and Eric and all the others. And then we've got 2 faculty members who've received Smithsonian Institution fellowships, very prestigious. Theodore Gonzalez and Michelle Scott. Theodore from American Studies and Michelle from History. We were all proud to hear that Tim Brennan in Public Policy and Economics has been appointed the Chief Economist of the FCC, which means he works very closely with the chairman. Great opportunity for him, great for the university. Carlo Di Clementi just received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Association for Behavioral Cognitive Therapies, which is awarded by the Addictive Behavior Special Interest Group there. And Brodsky in Psychology, an Associate Dean, received an award for her distinguished contributions to theory and research in community psychology. Her work looks at an understanding of women's engagement in multiple roles and how a sense of community and empowerment can be intertwined. Kate Brown, phenomenal, just received the 2014 George Perkins Marshall Award Prize for Best Book in Environmental History. Big deal by the American Society for Environmental History, that book on Plutopia. And then our own Jemima Slaughter, junior faculty member in computer science and electrical engineering, received the prestigious NSF Career Award, and she's been amazing in seeking help, working with people, and everybody kind of takes ownership of her. It's a great thing, it really is, and it's a big deal. She's probably the only black woman in the country with this kind of award in computer engineering. I want to see if we have 2 more in the country. So it's again, setting a standard and saying what UMBC can do. And then in the area of planning, the provost and Bruce Walls are leading this effort. I want to thank Kathleen, our president of the Faculty Senate, and associate professor for doing what she has done with that committee as a co-chair the first year. Now Bruce is taking over, and they're making substantial progress. And they've identified 4 strategy groups. They've got the student experience group that's co-chaired by Kim Lacey and Devin Haggerty, and then they've got the curriculum group and pedagogy chaired by Carol McCann and by Jeff Leips. And then there is the impact on research, scholarship, and creative achievement group chaired by Arya Gangopatia. All right, Arya, I got your name right that time, wherever you are. Gangopatia, it comes off your tongue after a while, right? But Arya is great, who's a wonderful chair of information systems, and John Schumacher. And then finally, the community and connection group with Steve Bradley and Mavis Sanders. Each of these groups will be composed of students, faculty, staff, undergraduate and grad students and alumni, and each will reach out to the campus for more input. If you're interested in knowing more, go to planning.umbc.edu. And then finally, really great news on capital budget. We have the money to start the construction of the campus gateway. That's the entrance. So, I mean, it's always good news and challenging news. We'll all have to adjust for a while to traffic patterns. Get ready for that. That actually starts June 1st. We've been having an accident a month because of people coming off of 95, and you got the circle there, and people just come zipping out, and students and others, it is 1 a month. We've been very blessed not to have a fatal accident, but there have been like 12 to 13 per year. and I've been working for years with colleagues to get it, and so it's great that we have the money for that. And even something like that costs $12 or $13 million, so everything costs. We were very disappointed that the governor had pushed out our life sciences building by 2 years, so we would not get planning money until June of 16. July 1 of 16. A number of us worked really hard, and I want to commend Lisa and Lynn and Julianne and everybody else involved. But the key is we worked so well. It worked so well. We were trying to get it brought back in, so a year from now we'd get that first money. This is for a $120 million science building, the first planning money. It worked so well that we actually get the money in 2 months. Give us all a hand for that. It's a big, it's a good story. And the bottom line, as I said to the legislators, we may not have all the political power. All we have is quality. That's what we have, quality. And the Maryland residents deserve quality. We deserve this building. And they said, okay. And they would say, it was a wonderful statement about how the legislators and the governor, but how they believe in UMBC. I want to stop there, and I want to just make one more comment as we look at, and we're working on this pond area. You're talking about the science building, which you know will go where the old academic services building is, right? Where the old theater building is across from the swimming pool. You think about that. And then what I didn't mention is we do have the money, by the way, one that I have a picture of it in my office. What's really significant is that the event center, that we do have the money for this event center. Big deal, $85 million. Big deal, huge deal. Huge deal. The system is helping us with that. It's a big deal because those departments, those universities that have a physical education major can use that as a reason to get the whole state to do it. But if you don't have a major in that, you can't get any money from the state. So the Regents finally acknowledged that they needed to support us. So they're supporting us some. We have the money. We are doing the planning right now. It's going to be, you'll be able to look out of that building on over into the lacrosse field. Does that help you? In other words, you're coming from the Commons, you come straight down that street by the parking deck, and you'd be coming straight across right into the event center. It will transform the campus amazingly. And we'll be able to have we'll finally be able to bring commencements back to campus. Give us a hand for that idea. Quite frankly, it'll help us to recruit better athletes. They want to know that you care about them. And say what you will, the fact is that, somebody said it to me, well, athletics can help shed light on the campus. Now, once the light is shedding, the question is, how do you treat students, how they're doing, and those kinds of things. But you need that support. I just read somewhere, one of the campuses, University of Dayton, got to the Sweet 16. That's 50 years off when we're all a little older, all right? But the point is, they got Sweet 16, and I'm told they profited something like $30, $40 million. It is unbelievable, the money there. Now, the key for us in athletics, as Tim will tell you, as Nancy will tell you, is that we want balanced athletics. We're not trying to win every year. We want to make sure students are doing well, treated well, performing academically. Then it's nice to win some, though. You get my point? And this will help us with all of that. Some of you know that we've already started using our own money on this first phase of construction in the Fine Arts Building. So we will be having a lot of moves in this next year. We're going to be spending of our own money about $17 million over the next several years for that. And as you might expect for the Science Building, the first big task is going to be all of what's required to tear that building down. It's far more extensive than you might think. And so you think about it, everything from the entrance to the event center to the science building, the place, and the pond area that we're doing has to do with a stormwater management system that we will be developing based on the new Performing Arts Center, which came in at slightly over $150 million and should be finished. How many of you walked into that building so far? Have you been over there? If you've not, go just walk in it. It gives you a sense of the possibilities. And it also tells you something about what we're going to be doing to keep building arts and humanities and social sciences on this campus. I'll leave you with these words before we stand, and I've been using them recently. Words from Maya Angelou, who said, "People will forget what you say to them. People will forget what you give to them, but people will never forget how you make them feel." Now there's the essence of UMBC, that we are all working to say to each other, thank you. So again, thanks to everybody. Thank you very much. Now please stand for the camaraderie. Don't leave yet. You got to sing this alma mater. I know you have beautiful voices. And the words are listed on the inside of the front cover of the program. Please do not leave. And would you help me start teaching students and staff? It is very disrespectful for anybody to leave before the alma mater is complete, has been sung. We know that. Those of us from small schools know that, all right? It's very important. Nothing is more important. It's just like you, for your country, for your institution. We stand, and I'm trying to say that in sports things. We don't leave. We stand and, with respect, sing. And I'm going to see how well UMBC can sing today. We'll see. But don't quit your day job, all right? And make sure you eat this food because we were cooking all night, whatever it is.
Hail, alma mater, our UMBC, boldly bearing your colors, the whole world to see, striving together in true unity. Black gold forever we're reminded of thee. Proudly we hail to thee, our UMBC. Throughout the ages, our UMBC, songs and memories still echo with true clarity. Knowledge and wisdom and truth we found here. Friendships we treasure that will last through the years. Proudly we hail to thee, our UMBC.
Applause for the camaraderie. Thank you all very much. I hope you enjoy the seasoning on the food. I really was working on it most of the night, all right? Enjoy yourselves. Thank you.